Hi Eddie, hi everyone.
How you going, Sanam?
How are you, Eddie?
I'm pretty exhausted. It's been a long day. A lot of meetings. How you going?
So you're working from home now?
Here's Ankit as well. Ankit, how you doing? You're just on mute at the moment, so
Yeah.
uh,
How are you, Eddie?
very good, very good. I don't think
Sanam,
you've
how are you?
had the
Yeah.
pleasure of meeting Sanam, have you? Do you guys know?
No, no, no. We are meeting first time. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Hi
this is good.
Ankit, how are you?
Hi, Sanam. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
We're making the connection.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So we'll just wait maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, let everyone arrive who's
Uh,
registered. Probably some people are trying to figure out from the
mhm.
registration how to be here, and then we'll start.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Sounds great.
So, where are you sitting at the moment, Sanam?
I'm sitting
Which
in my
city?
home.
No, no, no. Which city?
I'm in Canberra nowadays.
Okay, Canberra.
Yeah.
That's great.
I would
How's
just be
this?
here for like next 2 years, and then I would be probably having my rotation in other states. Yeah.
Uh, that's great.
Mm.
What else? This pandemic situation.
How's everything going in Melbourne, Ankit? Is it good? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty good. It was not good few times back because of this COVID. Pretty much locked. Everything is
things
fine.
are pretty normal in Canberra?
It's
Yeah.
we are getting back in on.
Mm.
Mhm. How's your job going? Good.
Yep, it's going good at the moment. I haven't yet started with my department. It's yet to start in Feb next year. So just waiting for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right, we have, what do we have? About 20 people online from what I can see, 18. It's good enough to get started in a few minutes.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll record this session just so you guys know,
Mhm.
and
Yep, all good.
yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it with the students, obviously. If there's anything that you say that you don't want in there, I can always edit to post. Like I do, I ran a session last week for students that were already selected for work integrated learning.
Hmm.
Mhm.
The session ran for 5.5 hours. So
Oh my God.
Wow.
one of the longest sessions. I think a few of these guys here were on that session as well. I'm pretty sure Mun was there, and Dasun, and Michelle, I think, and a few others. So yeah, it ran forever, but it was a good session because we went over so much material. And that's
Mhm.
why
Hmm.
this week we wanted to specifically focus on international students because there are certain challenges international students have that locals don't have. So specifically
Mhm.
target a few things here. So it should be good.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. It seems like 90 participants are there.
Say it again, Ankit.
It seems like 19 participants are there.
Yep, we've got 19 here, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. These are the 19 that actually want to get jobs. The other guys are not interested. They've already taken care of business, so they don't need any help. Next week, oh, I need a job. How do I? Oh, were you at the online session? No, I'm sorry. That's it. All right, guys. Let's. Here we go. Here's Sai Pawan as well. I'm sure there'll be a few more to join us a few minutes later. Guys,
Yeah, that's
those
completely
of you
fine.
that are on this call here, two things. Please turn on your camera. I want to see you. There you go. Turn your camera on. If you don't turn your camera on, you're getting off the call. That's it. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're on the toilet bowl or whether you're eating dinner or doing something else, I don't care. We've come to know each other so well now. We've built this family feeling, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
Guys, turn your camera on as well. Michelle, Kripa, Gintanjali, everyone else. That's it. Good to see you guys. Makes me feel human. By the way, I actually went to La Trobe University yesterday. My battery replaced, and it felt so good. I can't say how good it felt to walk into the building.
I can imagine that. Yeah, how does it feel once you go after a long time? Yeah.
I even went into my office and my lab, even though I didn't have anything to do in there, just to get that feeling back. So it's fun. So
even me as well want to sit in the lab again.
Yeah, I think everyone's missing that aspect. All right, so we've got about 20 people here. I'm sure there'll be a few more people popping in and out. First of all, everyone, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us this evening. I can see a few of you are in the car driving, a few of you are at home. Doesn't matter where you are. I appreciate you joining the session. And by the way, this session is being run out of hours, which doesn't mean much these days because we're all digital. But there are several reasons why we do it at 6:30 instead of during the day, because both Sanam and Ankit work. And I also do some work as well. And I'm sure you guys also do some work. So hopefully doing an evening session makes a lot more sense so we can get a few of you. Apologies for a few of you that are working this evening, or maybe you took a day off to work. I know it's hard to work as well given COVID-19, but if you were, I think this session will be quite valuable. So this evening, this session was essentially planned pretty late. I spoke to Ankit a while ago. I spoke to Sanam as well. And we've been thinking about for a while to bring a few international students that have gone through and gotten jobs, gone through La Trobe University's engineering programs, so they can speak from experience about what it takes, what you should pay attention to, you know, what are the do's, the don'ts, what they went through. Basically, just to give you some inside tips on what you can do to increase your chances of securing an internship, a job, or whatever else that you're planning to do in the short time frame. Both Ankit and Sanam went through, you know, various struggles. They'll tell you a little bit about that. I don't want to take any of the thunder away. But at the same time, they found solutions. And that's one of the most important things that we want to take away from this evening. That is, how do you find your solution? Because what worked for Sanam and what worked for Ankit doesn't necessarily work for you. There are lessons in all of them, but it may not necessarily work for you. So you have to pull away what's useful and apply it in your own context, whatever you learned this evening. And just a quick introduction, I'll let Sanam and Ankit say a few words about themselves to start with, but I've known both of them for quite a while. I think I've known Sanam for a few years longer than I've known Ankit, just because she started at La Trobe earlier than Ankit. Otherwise, I would have known them for them. But I have a tremendous respect for both of them, not only because they were very good students, very dedicated, hardworking. I'm not talking about grades either, because as you know, I don't care about grades. I care about more human traits than anything else. But they're very dedicated people who have very high levels of empathy, which you'll see in their short introductions as well. And they both graduated from our engineering programs at La Trobe. Irrespective of what they studied, I think you'll find a lot of inspiration in their stories as well. So Sanam most recently landed a pretty unique job, which she'll tell you about. And Ankit's also been working as an engineer now for just, I think, just over 2 years, under 2 years, Ankit.
It's now over 2 years. Yeah.
2 years. But in very short time frame, both of them had a lot of career success in different organizations. So I think you'll take a lot of good, valuable advice from them on how to get there yourself. And by the way, this session is being specially run for students, especially those of you that are thinking about work integrated learning. You've already inside the work integrated learning program or applying, or are looking to get a full-time job. So please, let's make this as interactive as possible. This is not a lecture, right? We don't want to be here just talking at you. We want to talk to you, which means that you also have your microphone. You can turn on, you can raise hand, ask questions. Let's make it a discussion. If this was in real life, we'd probably be sitting down in the restaurant, having something to eat and talking about life experiences and how to overcome challenges. So without further ado, I'm going to give the word to Sanam. I'll give females the first word. Sanam, do you want to say a few words about yourself? And then we'll get Ankit to say a few words, and then I'll start a bit of a Q&A with the guys.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Harry. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in this session. And yeah, thanks, Harry. As always, I would say, like, the person behind my success is you. Like, I can only say that. Yeah. I'm a former graduate from La Trobe University. I graduated back in 2015. So I did my master's in electronics engineering, and my experience and skill set is quite broad. Like, I've got experience in customer service, IT, and soon I'm just going to start my career with the Department of Defense Navy Civilian Engineering Development Program. So it's quite unique program, and it's been run for quite a few years in the Department of Defense. And my journey is quite unique because since the beginning, I was always keen to work for the Department of Defense, and I knew where I want to work in. So what I really cared about is that no matter what I have to go through, I will do my best. And the things behind my success, I would say, my proactive attitude and my dedication, determination. No matter what people say, is like what I truly believed in is stay true to what you believe in, and we will whatever it takes. I've got some few quotes in my life that I've believed in, and yeah, so that's a bit about myself, and I will later discuss, yeah, about you guys with you guys. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Sanam. Ankit, over to you. Quick introduction.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I hope you all are doing good in this pandemic situation. And I would like to wish you best of luck in the beginning. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Eddie, for giving us this opportunity. I graduated from La Trobe University December 2019, so it has not been a year yet, but I'm working in the field since last 2 years. I joined this company while I was a student because I was always fascinated to work in the professional world and in engineering companies. So I kept trying all the times, and yeah, that's what here where I landed. The main thing I would like to suggest to all of you is that which helped me, that is your attitude. If you have right attitude to learn anything, you will get where you want to be. So you always keep right attitude and do whatever you want to do. Just not, I always say that planning is important in the life, but it is not like you are just planning and doing nothing for that. If you want to reach somewhere, you should have vision. Vision is always there, but there are three different universes in which we are living: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. These three different universe, but the only universe you exist is now, right now. So you need to take step at this moment right now if you want to achieve something in future. So when I arrived here, I was struggling, and I even lost faith in myself. People were talking and asking me to go back my home. I mean, it is always the case as an international student. It is nothing any new here. But yeah, the choice, what you make when you do not have any choice, it is what that defines you. So make the right choice at right time, and be resilient. Fight for what you want. If you are not fighting in this competitive world, you are not going to get anything. So yeah, these are the main factors which helped me to get here. And yeah, don't lose hope. I never lost hope in myself, and I got my faith back. And yeah, I was not a great student, so I can say all this because wherever I am at this moment, it's just because of my attitude. If someone asks me for my grade, probably none of the companies will be hiring me. Yeah. So yeah, right attitude is everything, and that attitude helped me where I am today.
All right, great. Thanks for the introductions, guys. So I'm going to kick things off. We'll go through a number of topics. And by the way, for those of you that are watching, please feel free. Any interest topic that you have, or questions that you might have, or sort of problems that you're currently having that you would like to share. I'm pretty sure everyone else has gone through them as well. I will post a few questions, but please use the chat to post whatever challenges, questions you might have. So let's kick the first one off. I want Sanam and Ankit to go back to, I guess, their days at university. For Ankit, it wasn't that long ago, very recent. Sanam, it wasn't that long ago either for you, but a few years before. So maybe we'll start off with Sanam. Go back to your student days. Let's compare day one, arriving to La Trobe University, and graduation. If you could go back to day one of your La Trobe University graduation, what do you wish you did perhaps more of? What were the things that you want to tell yourself at that time to be able to prepare yourself better for what's coming later on?
I would say enhancing my communication skills and the confidence. If I would have developed my communication skills at the earliest from the day one, I would say it would have been really better for me, because that's what I've seen throughout these years, like improving myself from the day one. And yeah, like in the beginning, I wasn't really sure, like, because that's what like employers really look for in you, that what kind of soft skills you have got. They really don't care about your grades. They really don't care whether you were like a superb student, whether you were an excellent student. What they really look for is that whether you're a person who is able to communicate and you're more confident in what you say, yeah, and what you do. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome, man. That's perfect. Ankit, comment from you.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with Sanam, what she said. I was feeling the same, and when I came here, I struggled in communication initially, and then as I go far, I got into my mind that okay, I got into my head that okay, I need to be a good communicator. I need to have good communication skills. So I bit of worked on that. I joined classes as well, even here after coming here, because I was struggling in English because we are not native English speaker. So it is always the case. So first thing, you need to be a good communicator. You should have good communication skill. And second thing, right attitude. I even was not sure what employers are looking for in freshers. So in that case, I try to sort out the things like from the very beginning. In my for my first semester, I was struggling, but from the second semester, I got thinking that okay, if I want to be an employee in some of the good company, what should I have? The most important thing which I got is an attitude. Think out of the box. Like if you, I was practicing everything since my second semester. Like if you say assignment, if you are doing assignment with the plan and on time, you are practicing time management, which will help you as a professional. Second thing, I will say, same assignment people are doing in the same way. If you do something differently, if you do some different activities in the class, you will be recognized. So you are doing something out of the box, which will help you to be a good employee in future. So if you connect your 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 student life with your employability, you will straight away got to know that okay, assignment, okay, it was helping us like this. Okay, we were thinking out of the box, we were answering the questions differently. Okay, here is the case. This is how it works as a professional. So these are the things. There are lots of other things which I would like to discuss with all of you today. But yeah, these are the main thing which you need to. I mean, don't I never focused on hard skill. I mean, it is important to focus on the hard skills. It should have, we should have that. But soft skills, which is not teachable, teachable things, yeah, that your employer will say that okay, we will teach you. But these are the natural thing which you need to practice. So focus on attitude, and yeah, focus on your technical skills as well, but more focus on your attitude and soft skills, which everyone doesn't have.
Okay, so
So
that
that's what
is
I
a
did.
part, Ankit, which is good. So communication skills is probably, I have to agree with this as well, is the most important thing, and probably the first. Well, there's two things people notice about you immediately. Number one is your appearance, your physical appearance, right? So you have to look presentable. That's important. And the second thing people notice about you is the way you talk, right?
Yeah,
Attitude will come later. So we'll focus on the first few things, because you got to
yeah,
get
yeah,
the door first, right? You have to open the door before people actually let you sit down. So if there's two things you got to focus on, is your appearance, and obviously you can't physically change your appearance unless you go and do plastic surgery, but at least you can look tidy, you can look professional. That's an easy thing. Everyone can do that, right? But the second thing
yeah,
is communication skills. So it's a very, very challenging thing. And it's not just about, I'm going to go and learn English so I can be a better speaker, right? We all know that's not the simplest of solutions. So I want to go back to Sanam and Ankit and get their input. When you actually want to improve your communication skills, how did you go about? Because I remember Ankit and Sanam as students, and believe me, they were not magnificent speakers as they are now back then. They were a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit less confident, right? Just like average day students. Confidence and communication skills come with time. This was also the case with me when I was a student, but you build it up over time. So let's get into that topic and find out, how do you go about building your confidence and your communication skills to openly communicate with a passion, with drive? How do you go and do that, Sanam? What did you do to build that confidence and the communication skills?
First of all, I will say that you have to take that initiative that, yeah, just have to go and speak to someone. You should have the courage, and it comes with time. Trust me. If you are just gonna sit there and and you're like, someone is gonna come to me and talk to me, no, this is not gonna happen. What you have to do is you have to think about it that I have to improve myself in it. Like for myself, what I did was I was communicating with the other people on LinkedIn. I was having a chat with them. I said like, hey, I want to have a catch up with you for a coffee. I was volunteering in Engineers Australia as a committee member for overseas qualified engineers. And apart from that, I also used to attend some of the Toastmasters Club events, which are really good to improve your public speaking skills. So I was more of a person, I was like, because I still remember my time when I first started my academic career in Latrobe. I was a bit kind of shy. I was like, I can't talk to people. What would people say about me? I'm not good. But what I really learned is that I have to take that courage. No one is gonna build that courage. I have to take that on my own. I have to have a look. Okay, these are my weaknesses, and these are my skill set. How do I have to improve my weaknesses? So I started talking to people, and they kind of give me advice that, hey, Sanam, we would advise you that these are the platforms you can try on and see how does it improve you. So I started communicating with the people, not only just from my own area of practice, but also the people like in the HR or other space, and they kind of give me really good advice and the platforms. Yeah, so it just comes with the courage, the confidence, and you have to have a look what platforms are available in Australia. Because being an international student, I would say, like even in Latrobe, there are heaps of career development workshops, events for the students. Yeah, just take the participation in those events. And trust me, when you start talking to people, you will feel the difference in yourself. That with time, you will kind of feel that difference that, hey, I see myself more improved in this area now. I feel myself more relaxed now. I can feel the difference and the confidence. Yep.
Okay, Ankit, your comments on this one. How did you go?
uh, yeah. So to be honest with you, when I came here, I am the one who has had a fear to go in front of and teachers and anybody else here, because if I go to them, I needed to talk in English, which I was very fear about. But then after I thought that okay, it won't work anymore, because if I want to stay here, I need to go out and I need to speak. So just to remove that fear, I started taking initiative, and I started going to my professors and to my employer. I was working in some pizza store as a part time. So I started going to them and I started communicating as much as I can. Sometimes I didn't have any topic, but still I wanted to, because I wanted to get that confidence. And I told my housemates as well to talk to me in English. So this is how I am through, because I found out that okay, the main thing which is working behind my, not improper communication skill, was my fear. So to remove that fear, I started taking the steps and initiatives. And whenever I got the chance to announce in front of public or people, I never miss a chance. So this is what I did for to improve my communication skills.
Excellent. All right, we've got a quick question in here. It says, question to Ankit. As you said, employers are also looking for other skills as well in addition to the technical ones. I want to know what exactly an employer is expecting from me, being an international student, while hiring, apart from the requirements mentioned in the job advertisement. If you can share some light on this. Thanks, Aditya.
Yeah, Aditya, it's actually a good question. Uh, I was thinking the same, and I wanted to ask the question to someone who can answer, but I couldn't get to that particular person to get the answer. But yeah, I will say, like, grades are always important. I'm never saying that you should neglect your grades, but apart from grades, if you have grades but you don't have soft skills, you are not going to hire. So soft skills, I would like to say about think out of box, right attitude. If you face any interview, the interviewer may ask you a question, something like that. Okay, have you assigned to any task which was very tough, you felt very tough, and how you dealt with it? So that is your chance to answer the interviewer that okay, how can you think out of the box and how can you fight with the tough time. Second thing, how can you think out of the box? They are asking same questions to all the interviewers. Some will say that, some will say simple answer, some will answer out of the box. Like I can't remember. I was got a question from my director himself took my interview after my manager, because they said that okay, this guy is something talking big things. So yeah, he asked me a few questions like, okay, if you are in a situation where you need to have work in a team and people in your team are not responding you very well, so how will you deal with that? So this is the time you can show your skill and your teamwork. How can you do a teamwork? So these are the main things which I can say that yeah, you should have. First, communication skills, as we discussed. Second, think out of the box. And never stuff to the interviewer saying that okay, I can do this, I can do this. To be very honest, integrity very important in the soft skill as well. If you are honest with the interviewer, you will be getting hired. That is for sure. So yeah, these are the areas you need to work as a student. And time management is most important, which is also coming in the soft.
Absolutely. And I'm going to ask Sanam the
Yeah.
same, because Sanam's gone through a fair few interviews as well. Ankit, your internet connection is breaking up a little bit at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah, you were jumping out a little bit. But Sanam, so you've gone through a lot of interviews, I know, because I've given a lot of references for you as well. But that makes you experienced, which I think you can share a lot of experience on that particular point. And you had a lot of disappointments as well, but then you also had a lot of success in a lot of these little jobs. And can you talk us through some of the different experiences in the interviews that you've had, and how you managed to actually, so there's two challenges international students face before they even get into the company. Number one is being recognized, which is actually the CV being accepted for an interview. And the second one is once you actually get to the interview stage or assessment center stage, actually being selected upon that. So can we focus on the first one? When you first started out, how did you make sure that your success rating, increased rather than decreased with your actual applications? What were you paying closer attention to when applying?
Yep. I would first start with my, I would say, like I wasn't getting successful, and I would say that I was just trying to practice the interview in a fake way. I would say, like I was just preparing the answers. I was like, all right, I have to answer the question in this way and this way, and I was always getting unsuccessful. And then what I had learned with the time is that you don't have to prepare for the interview. You have to have a look at the company values, like what kind of candidates they're looking for. This is very important, and you just have to be originally yourself, I would say. But this is very important. And if you're having good communication, if you're having, I would say, confidence, and you're having the right skill set, the employers would definitely go for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just writing a
Yep.
comment here. So you should definitely take note on this, guys. Take some notes before you go and write an application,
Yep.
before you go to an interview. Look at the actual company values. You can find them on their webpage, which is very simple to do. I'm sure
Yep.
Sanam can comment on this as well, but you'll be surprised
Yep.
how many people don't bother reading the company webpage and understanding what they're applying to. They just send a CV, a cover letter, and that's it. So
Yeah. That is actually the
Yeah.
most important thing. We are not doing our homework and applying straight away without thinking anything, which is not going to help us or which is not taking us anywhere. So that is the most important point which I would like to pick. That yeah, whenever you are applying for some industry or some company, you need to do your homework. That is very important. If you haven't done your homework, you will definitely get failed. So yeah, know what that company is doing, make some notes and add that those particular points into your CV, that okay, these are the things which can impress or mm, can impress
And
employers.
also,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I would like to add one more thing as well, that once you know that you're applying for the job, have a look at the people on the LinkedIn who are having the same experience from the same company. Have a chat with them that what kind of job responsibilities they have got in the company, and you would like to have a discussion with them because you're going to have an interview with the company soon. So they might give you a kind of some, what do we say, some advice, some piece of information that can be really handy for you, I would say.
Yeah.
So have a chat with the people around, and also do a bit of homework on the job you're applying for, because the companies and the employers, they do know that you've got the skill set and you've got the degree, but they really want to know if you are passionate to work for them. They don't want, or they don't want to hire someone who just want to say, yeah, I've got this degree, I want to work. But why do you want
Yeah.
to work for them? Why, like, they're going to select you? What makes you special that they should hire you? So have a think about it, and like what kind of the skills I would say that I can tell to them that, yeah, I'm a perfect person. Like what makes me stand out of the crowd? Yeah.
Yeah. And one more thing, make sure that rejection don't stop you. Failure don't stop you. It is you who is stopping you. So make sure never afraid of rejections and failures. This is the most important point. Again, I would like to raise. Yeah.
So on this point, I'd like to draw an example. I want to make this as practical as possible, just to make sure that you guys truly understand what Sanam and Ankit are saying. And we created no plan for this evening. So this is a very sort of open session. We can talk about anything. So I've just pulled up one example. Maybe some of you have already seen it. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so most of you are going to go to seek.com and stuff like that and look for opportunities. If you're in the World program, you're probably not going to do that. I'll just say this, 95% of jobs do not go on Seek or job sites. They are recommendations. They are internal network referrals. So this is why I always say your network is your net worth, right? The bigger your network, the more opportunities. If you want to be even simpler in that sense, the more fishing rods that you have cast in the river, lake, or ocean, the higher your chances of pulling out a fish. Okay? Now, where can you improve? You can't go and buy 1,000 fishing rods and just cast them, especially if you don't know what you're fishing for or what you're using to capture that fish. So the point of this session is to teach you, everyone has a fishing rod, by the way, in this analogy, okay? All of you have fishing rods. But what we want to teach you is from experience, from Ankit and Sanam, who are now skilled fishermen, fisherwomen, what do you need to do? Where do you need to cast your rod? What do you put on the bait, on the hook, etc., etc.? Okay, that's what we're going to show you. So the example that I have here is a company called Taylor's. By the way, this is live right now. And Taylor's are looking for a student engineer. Okay, I don't want to read through the whole ad here. They talk about how you will contribute. There's some CAD, blah, 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 blah. Our ideal person. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Know some CAD, okay, so you should know that. Intermediate office skills, okay, civil engineering, blah, blah, blah. High level of written and verbal communication skills. Exactly what Sanam and Ankit were talking about, okay? Ability to communicate, ability to write and read effectively, right? The ability to thrive in a busy environment where priorities can change quickly. Sanam, Ankit, can you comment on this one? So what does that actually mean in your work perspective? The ability to thrive in a busy environment where priorities can change very quickly. What does that mean for you, and what would the students need to pull out of this one?
From my perspective, I would say adaptability. Like things change very quickly. For example, there's a new software in the company, or the hierarchy has changed within the organization. So, are you able to cope in that environment? Are you able to take that challenge? Like some people really are not able to thrive in that environment because they think like, I haven't worked in the software. It's too hard for me. I can't get on this. So you have to be prepared for the challenges, like whatever comes through. If it's like a change in the hierarchy, if it's a change in the management or in the technical environment, you're ready for it. You're not gonna get be fearful of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Sanam is absolutely right. And from my point of view, I can say that because I'm managing uh, about 8 to 9 projects at a time, and I really need to set the priorities, and I really need to set the team for the particular project. I can say that it is very frustrating for my team to swap the projects sometimes from here to there to here because of the priorities. So in professional world, you are working in an atmosphere where you need to swap projects, when you need to apply your skill rather than doing something on the floor or on the software somewhere else. So these are the things which are making the staff and my team frustrated. So this, I can say that, okay, swapping of the tasks and setting the priorities, what you should do first and what you should do the next, that is the most important factor, which is helping everyone to be capable in the company. So yeah, I would say that always try to set the priorities in your routine life. This meant to say that I can feel this every day, because every day I'm getting emails that, okay, stop working on this project at this moment, you need to, we are getting this on higher priorities because our client want this on the top priority. Sometimes you are changing software because of some interruption. So yeah, you should be very adaptable and flexible.
Absolutely. So let's go to the next bit as well, because we can touch on each one of these points. I'll go to this point here because I think everyone should be able to answer this one here. An ability to work in a team. So at university, you know how sometimes you work in a team that doesn't necessarily do a lot of work. Sometimes you're the problem, sometimes they're the problem, but most of the time, all of you are a problem, right? Everyone contributes to the problem in some ways. So in an interview stage, you're very likely going to be asked a question to demonstrate your ability to work in a team, because these days everything is about teams. So it's a very, very common question. And you have to be able to answer and give examples of teamwork, where it went well, where it didn't go so well, and how you played an active role in driving success in that team. So you can see here, most companies are going to put that in their application forms to give them examples of that. But that's not the one I want to delve on. The one I think that makes it a lot more interesting is this bit here, which says a desire to embrace our vision and values and make a positive contribution to achieving team goals. There's a lot going on in this statement here. There are a couple of key words: embrace, right? So if you know what embrace means, it means to essentially adapt and take on board what their values are. Vision, right? What is the vision of the organization? Not your vision. What is their vision? And how does your personal vision stick to that? And the third one is this positive contribution to team goals. So it does make sense to have the team effort in this aspect here. So let's ask Sanam and Ankit. Maybe Sanam, you can talk about this embracing the vision and the values, and Ankit can talk about the positive contribution to achieving team goals and what that means in his sense as well.
Yep, sure. So my perspective for a desire to embrace our vision and values, I would say this is very, very important. The companies, I would say, do really hire you on this basis a lot. This is the question they really ask, like, why should we hire you, or why you want to work for our company? So this is when it comes to play in hand, that are you the person who would say that I'm a person who is more aligned to your vision and values. Like the company says that by 2020 or 2025, we are looking forward to achieve this goal, or we have got this vision that we will be more technically advanced, or we are, I would say, a world tech superpower, like something like that. And for the values, like for example, in public service, we have got 5 values, which we say I care. So like integrity, care, accountability, respect, and ethical. So I have to relate myself with each of the values. Like for example, if I say that I'm a person who is aligned to integrity by displaying this example, then I'm more relating to their values, that I'm a better person for their organization. And this is very important. And then they can definitely say that, hey, yeah, I can definitely see that this person is really passionate to work for us and make a contribution to our organization. Yeah, so just be that kind of person who's more able to align himself or herself with the organization by giving some example that I've done this in my work or in my academic career, and this is what I've displayed, and this is what I feel like that I'm aligned with the values of your company. Yep.
Yeah, that's true, Sanam. I would like to contribute here saying that, okay, whenever you are working in some company, you need to be aligned with the vision of the company. Company have always the vision, and they are looking for someone who, can stay there and align with their vision and help the team to, cooperate with each other. So whatever the vision of company, I would like to say that, okay, company has vision to achieve something by the end of year 2021. Everyone should be working on that, and there should be one person who can stick to that thing and who can get the team together and cooperate with the team. And most importantly, coaching and mentoring of your co-workers is always there, because my director has always said that, okay, whatever the vision we have, we need to stick to that, and we need to be in a unity, because one person cannot achieve that particular goal. There should be a team to get that goal or to achieve that thing. So yeah, the team is very important in this particular area, and alignment of the goal with from your perspective is very important. So yeah, that's what I can say about the team and the alignment of the employer.
All right, so moving on with that part there, I'm going back to the web page now because I want to run this as a real example. This is a real job. you could potentially apply for it. And we're going through real examples. So let's say now that you wanted to apply for this job here with tailors. Okay, tailors do a whole lot of stuff. You can see here they do master planning, urban design, GIS, civil engineering, development. They do 1,000,001 things, right? They're a very old company. They've been around for a while. So you need to familiarize yourself with this company as if it was your favorite cricket team, your favorite player. You need to know everything about them, right? The gist of them. But most importantly, you need to understand what their vision, what their goals are, what the company culture is. And then this is you and this is them. Okay? You're not the same. You're far from that. Now, you can adjust yourself to fit their company culture. You can't completely change because there are some things which are you. So sometimes the job is not the right match for you, and sometimes you're not the right match for the company. But your job is to create some sort of links between this thing that we call the company and you. We need to create some links. So if we look at this webpage here and we go to About, right? It talks about the company recent history, but then there's this thing down here called Our Vision and Values, right? Now, unfortunately, this company didn't stick their values out in the first page. Some companies do, but many people that apply for this won't bother reading this. They won't. I can tell you right now. And those are the applications that are going to get rejected first. You just didn't bother reading that. You didn't even bother reading what the company does and you're applying. And you can pick up on those things very easily in your application. So if we click on their vision and values, here's a couple of interesting things, and they've even highlighted the keywords for you. The Taylor spirit, okay, that's their company culture, is one of growth, of new experiences, innovation, right? Not just for our business, but we teach our individual team members. We strive to explore new frontiers, to challenge ourselves, our industry, and put people in the space of groundbreaking project and development activity. Our clients, our team, and our community all benefit from this vision, and we believe that this is what makes us stand out from the crowd. That is the Taylor's difference. Okay, there's a lot going on here. There's some stuff that we've already discussed. Now, I want to ask Sanam and Ankit, if you were applying for this job here, just looking at this particular vision statement here, because remember, the vision statement relates to this, our ideal person. They can't put everything here, but they're relating here our vision and values. So you had to find the vision and values before you could actually write against them. So Sanam, what would you in particular focus on here if you had this vision here and these keywords? How would you go about addressing this in your application?
Yeah, from my perspective, what I would say, like the points that have been highlighted, like the spirit, growth, innovation, individual, new frontiers, challenge, groundbreaking, and community, you just have to combine these together. And what really means that you're the person who's creating a difference to the vision. So what I really do is like having a look at the vision. I give an example that I'm a person who is looking forward to growth. How? By learning new things, contributing new things, not only to myself, but also to the team member. And that will definitely help the company to grow in the future. And challenging every single day, like how to learn something new, something that's quite challenging, like keeping myself adaptable and flexible, that whatever comes in my way, I'm ready for it, no matter how it is and what it is, I'm ready for it. And that would definitely help to kickstart that groundbreaking project, and it will definitely help company a lot. And this is how I'm going to contribute to that XYZ company, and it will make a difference, not only from the present perspective, from the current perspective, but also in the future.
Perfect. Ankit, which experiences would you draw upon if you had to apply right now, if you were a final year student and you were applying for this role here? How would you show tailors that you satisfy their vision? How would you go about doing that? What examples would you draw on, like concrete examples?
Yeah, so I first of all I would emphasize on the innovation, the growth, and new frontiers and breaking. So yeah, I would put something or some experience or something on my application saying that, okay, if there is anything challenging, I can stand by, and I can stand by that side, and I can get that easily. And if there are any hard bits in any kind of project or anything, whatever going in the company, I would be doing this, and I will set up some examples saying that, okay, how I am different and how I am different.
Okay, let's keep going with this one. Okay, so all of you, so what I want everyone to do on this call here, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Okay, you're now all applying for tailors. Okay, you're all applying for tailors. I'm going to leave this up on the screen here, and what I want you to do is write 4 or 5 sentences, no more. 4 or 5 sentences, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be ideal. We're here to learn. If you are applying for tailors, I want 4 or 5 sentences how you would go about addressing this particular point here. A desire to embrace our vision and values. So you are addressing a desire to embrace our vision and values. Okay? And here is their vision and values. So 4 or 5 sentences. It's basically one paragraph. And let's say 5, 10 minutes if you have to. You can answer it verbally, but let's write it down because it's important that you get some practice at doing that. So 5 to 10 minutes maximum. If you finish earlier, that's fine. But let's jot this down. I want to see how you guys are thinking. And then Sanam and Ankit can provide some feedback to you. Sanam and Ankit work for tailors. They are the managers at tailors. And they're going to look at your answers and tell you, okay, this is what you're missing. This is weak. This is not conclusive. Let's get this down. Use your laptop, write it down, whatever you want. So a 5-minute break to get that done, and we'll come back. Sanam, Ankit, you can also take a quick break if you like.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, how are we going, guys? Need one more minute? By the way, don't try to write it perfectly now, because that you can do in your spare time. The point is to get some early feedback on how you're going about applying. This is some of the common mistakes people will make, and it's good to make mistakes now to learn before you make mistakes later on. All right, look at that. Sai Pavan has taken the incentive, and he's already pasted his text here. So maybe we can start with him. Where is Sai? There he is. Well done. Brave. That's what we like to see. All right, Sanam, Ankit. So we're all gonna. By the way, guys, it would be great if you can also give each other feedback. Put yourself in the position of the manager, because if you do that, you'll be able to address your own shortcomings. So think about what they're looking for as an answer as well. So let's just quickly, I'll read out the answer here. So thanks, Man, also posting yours, well done. Oh, now I've got to scroll back up, so everyone's pasting at the same time. All right, let's go with the first one. So Sai Pavan says, I greatly enjoy leveraging my passion and skills to work in your company. And from what I know about your company, the team, and your vision for how you want to grow the organization, that all aligns very well with my career interests. And I believe I can make a huge impact there. Okay. I have my own comments, but I'm going to allow Sanam and Ankit to comment the good, the bad, and everything else.
So what I would advise and give my feedback is that you have kind of said that you are having that passion and that you want to work for the company, but you have to back it up with an example, like what makes you think that you're the person who aligns really well with the vision and values. You have to provide it an example, like it can be anything from the work you do, like in your academic career, like the projects that you have done, even the work you have done in your normal day-to-day life. I have given example in from my daily life as well, personal life, that this is what I've done, or this is what kind of person am I, and that's how I feel that it's aligned really well with the vision and the values. Yep.
Absolutely. Ankit?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Sanam. I would say that, okay, why? And I will always ask that what makes you different. So there should be some one statement or example proving that yes, you are really fit for the job. Yeah, so example is something which always impress the employer.
Yeah, thanks for your feedback.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one raw example as well. So whenever you say anything, and by the way, guys, this is feedback for everything that you write, whether you're writing a CV, LinkedIn profile, email, whatever it is that you're writing, you always have to be able to back things up. For some of you that I've taught before, there's this concept of the 5 whys, right? You always ask why until you get to the actual problem that you're trying to solve. Well, in this case here, people want to know the what, right? And the how. So if you say, I'm passionate, the word passionate doesn't mean anything unless you say what you're actually passionate about. Because you're passionate. It's like saying, I'm blue. So what? Like, there's no relevance to it. And Sai, this is great. I'm sorry for picking on you. This is all positive feedback. So you need to say, I am passionate about X. Okay. And in this case, if you're talking about passion, then your passion needs to align with what the company does. What is the company's activity? So if you go to their main page, you can look at their services, you can look at their markets, you can look at their vision, right? So they are passionate about a few things. They're passionate about exploring new frontiers, doing new things, cutting edge projects. They're passionate about that, that's for sure, right? They're passionate about innovation. That means they're very clever about how they solve problems, right? They're passionate about growth. Growth is not just volumetric, profit, number of people, it's personal growth. It's the company's growth. So growth can be, for the first time we did a dam. We did engineering for a dam. It's the largest dam in Australia. We learned a lot. We grew with the project, right? So you need to think about those examples along the way as well. And then not only that, you say, and skills to work in your company as well. Again, You got to give examples as you go along. So always use examples to back things up. Now have a look at your CV. Have a look at your LinkedIn profile. How many of you are currently using terminology such as that? I am a good communicator. Where do you show that? I am a great team player. Where do you show that? Where are the examples? Right? You need to show examples to be able to prove something. You can't have open-ended statements without the proof somewhere. It doesn't mean that the proof is in the immediate next sentence, but it has to be somewhere. So you've got to be able to demonstrate, if that makes sense, okay? So
Yeah,
I don't want to,
thanks.
yep.
Thanks, Eddie.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the next example as well. So let's read Mun's. So Mun wrote, I have passion in innovation, okay? In a learned subject called Ideas to Innovation, we learn about break down and define a problem that can be solved by innovation, create a flexible solution, and making the prototype. I'm an independent thinker and have the ability to work as a team effective. I love to bring value to others and community by taking part in the Australian Cancer Council and La Trobe mentoring program. Okay, comments from Sanam and comments from Ankit.
The feedback on this example from Man, I would say, is that it's a good one, but what I really miss is that it's not aligned. It's not like I can see that it's related to my vision and the values. You can back it up with having a look at the projects as well. Have a look like what they have done, what their CEO has mentioned in the recent news, or what their senior directors have mentioned in the recent news, like what they're going to do in the future or what they're looking forward to do, and back it up with an example that this is what I've done in my uni or in my work life, and I believe like I'm a person having this and this example, and I feel like it's aligned to your vision and values, and I feel myself a person who is going to stand out of the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, my comment would be on this. I would say that one knows that where is the pain, but he couldn't find the exact cure. So yeah, for this in this kind of statement, if I am the manager or I am the CEO, I probably prefer to call this guy for an interview just to know that do you have actually cure or not. So his statement said, I have passion in innovation. That is true. No backing up. It have learned subject called ideas to innovation. We learn about breakdown and define a problem can solve by innovation, create flexible solution, and making the prototype. I am independent thinker and have ability to work as a team effective. I love bringing value to others and community by taking part in Australia Cancer Council and Latrobe mentoring program. So yeah, you are bit of backing up, but not 100% what every manager or CEO want. So yeah, you are a bit of lacking here and backing up your statements. That's what I can say.
All right, absolutely. I won't comment anymore, otherwise we'll take too much time. Let's read a couple here. So let's read Michelle's. I've always been a big believer in growth, which aligns with my interest in innovation. That challenges me to reach new heights in all my endeavors and make a difference for the community. Sanam, quick comment.
It
What's
just
missing?
like seems a bit complex to me. I'm unable to understand what she's trying to say. As I've again mentioned, that you have to back it up with an example and try to simplify it that even a layman person can understand in a nice way. Because the HR people who are going to interview you, they're having no idea. They just want to hear the buzzwords, the keywords that are mentioned in the vision and the values, like what kind of person they're looking for. You have to back it up with an example. Have a look at the projects, like if they have said that I've done we have done these and these projects and this is what we have achieved. Just back it up with an example that I was having a look at your website and this was the project that quite like made me keen towards like working for your company, and this is what I've done in my workplace or in my academic career, and I feel myself that whatever I've done, this and this um, is quite something that's aligned to your vision and values. Like back it up with an example so that I can say, and that's what employers want to have a look at.
Because the general trend here, guys, you can see that examples are key. and
Okay.
personalization is key. If you make it too blah blah, right, which is basically like taking, you know, one of those dolls out of a catalog and saying, oh, you see these jeans, they look good on this person, but it's not a real person. There's a level of personalization that needs to be involved. It's got to be about you as a person, and you have to make them understand that you're a real person, that you have real examples, and they're your examples. And maybe your examples are not the perfect ones, but they're yours, rather than trying to be fake and trying to be too blah blah with your statements, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ankit, do you want to comment on the following one? So we'll just jump to the next one. Nishant, I am a team player who likes to work in a new challenging environment. This keeps me active by making some critical, innovative decisions to troubleshoot challenges. As a student, I have come across different project challenges with different teams and have always taken responsibility for guiding a team into the correct direction with my critical and innovative thinking. I've been experienced in many disputes with teams, and I've effectively resolved the disputes. Being a good mediator keeps the team together, focused on the goal to make valuable contributions to the project. All right, that's a slightly longer one, but comments.
I can't see that
It
here.
could be the one after.
I can see Kripa,
Okay, I can tell you why. Because
Jaskaran.
Nishant sent this one to me privately, from what I can see here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, let me jump to another one here. Let's go to Jathin. In my view, innovation at workplace, either on individual level or company level, is a significant factor for the growth of the company. I have had experience in demonstrating the ability of innovation in my studies as well as my previous company. I truly believe that this ability of mine will benefit the project, which will in turn benefit the organization. Ankit.
Okay. Quick feedback on that. He has said that I have had experience in demonstrating the ability of innovation in my study as well as my previous company. Is there anything which can back this up? If it is, it truly means something. And yeah, that's what I want to say, that he has written very good things here. But yeah, I want to see something, just one bit. I if I am a manager, I would like to find for one bit which is missing here, that is backing up the statement that okay, how you demonstrated that ability of innovation in your study and in your as an employee of some companies.
All right, let's jump to one more. We've got a couple more, and then we'll. I think everyone's getting the hang of what this means, what's good, what's bad.
Yeah.
Kripa Lama, we have something I always have aimed in my life is to keep my life always interesting with all the thrills of experience of new things, and your vision seems to be exactly the task I'm looking after with giving space for innovation and growth. Solving a challenge always gives me the sense of achievement and strive for more in the area. One of the most challenging tasks I have ever completed was when I taught myself coding in Python, and from beginning to end. All right, Sanam.
yeah. I would say that this is really a good example. She has backed it up with an example that what challenging task she has done. So even if it's a small one, it's still backing up with something. And I would say the employer will definitely is gonna call her for the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, I would add here, like for the last one, she has tried to back the things up, but the thing is, she has said coding in Python from beginning to end. Is there anything which can, I mean, I have certified, or I have this thing, or some proof which shows that one word is missing here in this? Because you can learn Python in your bachelor's or wherever in your study somewhere, doing
So,
practical thing. So there should be something which can back this up by saying that I am certified or I have this, or yeah, that's what I would like to say here.
thank you.
Otherwise, this is good.
Go on, Kripa.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't have enough time. I was gonna write in the data analysis, the coding for it. So I didn't have much time to write it. So thank you for the feedback, though. I got it what you meant.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
All right,
Keep it up.
very good. All right, so I think we get the gist, guys. We can go through more and more examples. One advice that I would give to everyone, given that English is not your native language, okay, it's a challenge. You have the advantage of, before you send your application, please do this, because 95% of people don't do this. Get your application checked by someone who's a native speaker. Yeah, pay them if you have to, do whatever, but get it checked. Because sometimes certain sentences and certain statements don't exactly make clear sense. They can have multiple meanings if the grammar is wrong, right? Plural or singular, right? I know it's challenging. English is not an easy language, by the way. It's easy to speak it, but it's not easy to actually get the grammar correct. It's challenging. It took me like 15 years before I got it right, because I was a refugee in Australia as well. So I understand you. I feel the pain, but you have no advantage here except to use someone to read over your application and to make corrections. And you should learn from those corrections. Don't just say, oh, thank you very much, and just send it. Look at the feedback, where, what, and how, and try to learn it. And I think that's one of the things Ankit and Sanam both said. Improving your communication skills is also improving your written and verbal and everything else that comes with it. It just instills confidence. And I know it's difficult to build confidence when you don't feel confident to speak, but let's touch on that point again. Sanam, what did you do outside of the university to help you improve your writing and reading and speaking skills? Was there anything that you did extra besides engaging with people? Did you undertake any activities to help you articulate what you do? Because you have a certain vocabulary, right? And it's not a dictionary that you're looking up, but you have a bigger vocabulary to use because you did extra things outside of the classroom to enrich it. So what did you do that, to be able to write much more powerful statements?
Yeah, as I've said, like I had a chat with a couple of people, and apart from that, I've used a couple of platforms like Toastmasters Club. It's really good for the public speaking. I always have a look what words people are using, how they're trying to communicate, and then trying to use those words in my communication, be it written communication or the verbal one. And also apart from that, for my resume, like for example, I would say what I did was I just had one of the resume from one of my classmates. I said, "Can I have your resume?" He gave it to me, and I was just applying for the jobs, bang, 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 and I was never getting a reply, a single reply. I was getting quite disappointed that what's happening. And then what I did was someone told me that there's a career development workshop within the La Trobe Uni. I went there straight away and I said, like, can you check my resume? What are my mistakes and where do I have to improve myself? Um, the career advisor, she had a look and she says that doesn't look what the Australian employers look for. You have to work on it. So what I did was it took me like 3 days to work on my resume, cover letter, and also on my LinkedIn profile. I dedicated my time for that. So she had a look at my resume, she gave me the feedback, and it took me one day, okay, this is how I have to address my resume, and these are the words I have to use. And then I realized, oh, okay, this is what I have to do next time whenever I'm just applying for the job. And yeah, she told me that what are the buzzwords, the keywords you have to use next time. So it all comes with the people who are working in the HR space, the people who are good writers, have a chat with them. And even like there are heaps of like writing guides available online. Have a look, improve yourself. Oh, okay, this is a good word, vocabulary word. Don't try to use a complex vocabulary. Try to use a vocabulary which is quite understandable by the common people as well. Yeah, so this is what I did. And after that, what I realized was it was indeed making a difference. My CVs, my like job applications were getting heard by the employers, and the employers were calling me, "Hey, you have been selected for the interview." And then the next part came the interview stuff. Yeah, so this is what I did to improve my both my verbal and written
I
communication.
almost knew every time Sanam got an interview, because shortly after that, I would get a phone call from some company saying, Sanam Zafar has applied for a job here. You're listed as number 3. Can you provide them? references for her, which was good. So I knew she was doing something right, and it ended up working for her. So that's a really good example. No, but on top of what Sanam just said, everyone here needs to find someone who's going to be a mentor to them. Okay. Now, when I say mentor, you have this online platform called LinkedIn, and maybe the likelihood of an Australian citizen or someone that's here for quite a while taking you on might not be as high. But there are other former international students here, and this is what we did with our Working in Australia mentoring program, which Sanam took part in as a mentor. We tried to match students up with former international students to actually help you understand the challenges that you have to overcome. Now, we did that because we got a project, but you can do that on your own. So every single one of you needs to find someone who's going to be able to provide you with some mentoring, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. Mentoring isn't, a robotic equation. It's a conversation, and the conversation can give you lots of good advice, like we're having right now. So everyone needs to do that. I know that some of you are applying for jobs now. I know that some of you are applying for Will right now, but don't think of it as, oh, it's too late now, I'm already applying, because you may not be successful now. So that means you wasted 3 or 4 times or months waiting to apply. You got to do it right away, and you got to stay proactive, which is what Sanam's also saying. Get involved, start being active. Toastmasters is one example where you can practice your communication skills. You'll be surprised how much you will get attention if you improve your communication skills, your CV and your LinkedIn. So I know I looked at most applications that came to Will, and we ranked those applications in 5 categories. 1 being guaranteed going to get a placement, really good student, really good communicator, excellent application, outstanding. And a 5 being, this is going to be tough. This student is going to struggle. Bad interview, bad CV, poorly expressed. I'm sure the student's not bad, but it just didn't come through. So you have to look at how you're presenting yourself. Don't just hope for the best, like, buying a bingo ticket and hoping you're going to win. It doesn't work that way. You have to work on it. You got to consistently work on the stuff. So the things that you're hearing from Sanam and Ankit, you got to work on them right now, and you got to action them right now. So I'll go back to a question that was posed very early on. It was posed by, where are we? Apologies, I'm trying to find the question. Man. Man said, what types of questions do you ask of the company? So to give that a little bit of relevance, during an interview, the company will often ask you, do you have any questions for us? Very common question, right? So what they're actually looking to see is, are you familiar with what the company does to a point where you can ask something that is not answered on their webpage? Because if you're asking a question about something that's answered on their webpage, it's a dead giveaway that you didn't bother reading anything about the company. So you want to ask something that's not very typical. So Sanam and Ankit have a lot of experience in this. How did you answer some of these questions when you get asked, do you have any questions for us? What are some of the good examples? I think that's what Man was sort of heading towards. Thumbs up, Man, if that was the question that you were asking. Okay, very good. Ankit, do you want to go first, and then
yeah, exactly. The same thing I was thinking of, which Adi said, that don't ask the question which are already there on the website. They will straight away know that, okay, you don't bother to read the website even. So it will leave a bit bad impact. So yeah, always try to prepare the question, try to find out the question, and start your statement saying that I tried to find this thing on your website, but I couldn't. That why this is, or how do you do this, or something like that. Create a question. For that, you need to do homework. I would say that while I was going to this company for the interview, I got 2 days. So after finishing my university, I worked 2 whole nights to prepare for this company, and the only source of material I was having was the website. So I picked 1 or 2 questions because I was sure they are going to ask that, do you have any question? And that was my point where I can impress them, asking the questions which are not on that website. And they might think, oh, this should be there on the website. So yeah, these are the things which we need to really focus on. So prepare the question which are not on the website, and prepare something challenging to the employers as well.
Yeah, before Sanam answers her part as well, because she's had a lot of interviews with different companies, you need to use this particular part of the interview as your swan song. I'm not sure if you've heard of this term before, but it's essentially probably the last question. It's normally the last question in an interview. So you want to leave a really good impression as the last thing, right? And you don't want to ask a question which is just going to give you a yes or no answer because you didn't use your time
Exactly.
properly. Okay? So it's a free question. In cricket, it's like that no ball and you get a free hit in Big Bash, whatever, right? In soccer, it's a penalty. It doesn't matter which sport you're looking at it, but you got a free shot. So what are you going to ask them? But actually, through that question, you're also demonstrating, hey, you know what? I know something. And I'm going to ask you something which is going to make you think, oh, this guy really researched us. He really knows what he's talking about. That's your opportunity. So if you waste that one, it's like missing the penalty or not scoring a sixer on a free ball. So use it wisely, but understand the company. Sanam, your experience, maybe you can draw upon a few different ones since you've done a lot of interviews.
Yep. Yep. So what I would say is that I always have a look like as like Eddie and Ankita mentioned, don't mention or don't ask something which is already available on the website. But what I usually used to say is that why is this job still available? How does the job look like on a daily basis? Of like, yeah, just these kind of questions which are or like how many positions are available for this role. Sometimes the number of positions are not available on the website. It's a really good question to ask that how many positions are available for this role? Why is this job still available? How does the job look like on in day-to-day life? Um, yeah, or just some kind of questions which can really amaze them. Like it can be in a funny and attractive way that can just gives a kind of attitude that you're a person who's more into engaging, who's there to ask questions, who's there to learn more and investigate more. So it just kind of gives a kind of inquisitive nature that you're there to explore them, you're there to know more about them.
All right. So now I'm going to open it up to you guys for a few more questions. We'll go back to what we are. We're up to, geez, we've already done a fair bit of time. Sorry, Sanam and Ankit, if you've got a little bit more time, we're going
No, that's fine.
No, that's okay.
All right. So I'll leave it to you guys now to ask any questions, any comments you want to make. What are you currently struggling with? This is a good chance to ask questions of all three of us. But anything that's troubling you. So some of you are applying through various programs now. Some of you are in Will. You're probably going to get an interview. So what are you curious about to improve, right? Use this time wisely.
Yeah, and sorry for interrupting. Before anybody start asking question, I would like to answer a question which is here, which Kripa Lama asked that there is this thing that holds international students from applying is our visa condition being barrier for companies to accept you. How did you guys manage to convince the company with your visa conditions as international student? So I'm living with one of my friend. He is also from La Trobe University. He got the job in Aston Private Limited in Melbourne. He did the interview. He got the job. Myself, I am not PR. Still, I got the job. I was on student visa. Still, I got job as a part time. I was doing 20 hours till I finished my study. I don't know about Sanam, but there are lots of other examples which I can tell you, Kripa. I will tell you one example which I was taking interview because I was a team leader in my company. So there was one girl, she was from India. She gave an interview. We just looked at her confidence. When we asked, because we are manufacturing for some of the defense, so we asked her to work in a production. So we asked that, okay, as a girl, would it be possible for you to work in a production? She simply answered with the confidence that a girl, can be a prime minister of New Zealand. A girl can be a pilot, or a girl can be a whatever. At this moment, I am doing cleaning in the station. So it is nothing like that a girl cannot do this or that. So this was the thing we put on high priority instead of her visa status or visa condition. So you are setting a barrier thinking that, okay, visa will be an issue. So just first of all, I would like to request you all, remove this thing from your mind that visas are the issue. Visas are never issue. You are putting barrier into your mind saying that, okay, we won't be get selected. Like you can apply for this work integrated learning. Are they asking for you that what visa are you on at this moment? No, that is your opportunity. Grab it. Stop thinking about this thing that visa condition will be an issue. I know I was thinking the same way when I came here. People were talking about around me. So just get rid of those people who are talking negative things. Just focus on positive. Focus on your job and focus on opportunities, whatever you are getting. Just don't listen to the people who are talking this kind of things. That's what, yeah, I know because I was very worried about this thing when I came here, so I can understand, I can feel the pain. So yeah, this was for, yeah, Kripa.
Absolutely, guys. Don't forget one thing. If that was the case, if international students couldn't get jobs here, no one would ever come to Australia, and we would have a serious problem with immigration. So
Yeah.
it's not true. There are challenges, and I'll be very honest with you guys here about it. The reason companies tend to put only Australian citizens or PR, there's two reasons. Reason number one is they want to very quickly convert someone into a full-time employee, and they can't be bothered helping you with your application processes, right? That's one thing. The second one is that it's a way of saying, okay, have a look at all the international students here in Australia, all of them, right? In Melbourne, there's like 230,000 every year. 230,000. Like, I didn't realize how many international students there were in Melbourne until I did that project working in Australia mentoring program. And I realized, holy crap, there's like 200,000 plus students. How do you deal with that? Okay. So if there's 200,000 students in Victoria, there's probably close to 1 million in Australia. Let's say 750,000 to 1 million. How many of those international students in Australia are very good at speaking, very confident, really know their stuff, and go to an interview? A few percent. Like, we're talking about the upper echelon, the really, really, really good ones, right? The rest of them are in development. The higher up this food chain you are, the easier it is to get a job. Now, if you take a complete look at that whole 750,000 and we say 2 or 3% are unbelievable, then your perception as a company, when you put a job ad, and I know this because I have my own company and my brother and I run a company, we put a job ad out, we get hundreds of applications from international students, of which only a few are good. So my perception is, international students, not so good. I don't want to have to read all those applications. So my tendency in the next application process will be only local students and PR, because it saves me the headache. I'm not saying that all international students are bad, far from that. But my experience hasn't been a good one, and therefore I'm not going to bother. That's the thinking of most of the companies. Now, how do you get around that? Don't be one of those students who just sends an ordinary application. Very simply put, don't just apply through the same process everyone else does. Show those companies that you know what you're doing. Work integrated learning is one of those programs. Work integrated learning wasn't around when Sanam was a student. I'm sure she would have taken full advantage of it. You have that opportunity. So work integrated learning means that you're not competing with everyone else over here. You have your own special road. It's a VIP road. It still doesn't guarantee you a job. It doesn't guarantee you an interview. It doesn't guarantee you anything. but it's a single road and you're driving in this VIP lane while everyone else is driving over here. And if you don't use this VIP lane properly, it's going to be a lot harder over there. So there's no excuse, I'm international, therefore I can't get a job. If you're good, if you're really good, everyone wants to employ you. Why would I not want to employ you if you're good? So it's normally that you're the problem rather than the company, but we tell ourselves that the company is the problem because it makes us feel better, right? It makes us feel like we're not such a failure, we're not a disappointment, it's everyone else's fault, not my fault. The moment you stop blaming them and start blaming yourself, not in a negative way that you're just telling you can't do anything, but in a way that you say, I want to improve myself, I'm going to become better, I'm going to improve this. Something didn't work here, I'm going to find out what didn't work. Instead of speaking to other students who didn't have success, speak to students who had success. That's why we're speaking to Ankit. That's why we're speaking to Sanam. They had success. They're telling you how to achieve that success. So take a page out of their book rather than people who didn't have success, because there's probably a reason why they didn't succeed in that. Okay, so think positively and make improvements. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over. I've said it times before. If you punch the wall, a brick wall, and you don't punch a hole through it, are you going to punch it a second time? Probably not. It hurt the first time, so you should have learned something. You're probably not going to punch through that wall. But if you keep punching it, thinking I'm going to punch through it eventually, right, you're probably going to break your hand before you punch through the wall. And in this case, you're probably going to go broke. You're probably going to be deported back to your country if you don't want to stay here before you get that job. So improve every day. Every day is a grind. It's a hustle. You have to keep working. You have to keep improving. It's a challenge. It would be a challenge for me to get a job in India or Pakistan or the Middle East, right? I don't speak the local language. I might say I'm a great engineer. Do you know who I am? My name's Eddie. I'm a professor. Hold on a second. None of that stuff matters. If I don't understand the local culture, I don't understand how to fit in, I don't understand the standards, right? I wouldn't be able to fit in. So no excuses. You guys can do this. It's been done before. You're going to do it again. Next question we have here is from Abdul Aziz. What was it like in the first month as a professional worker? What was the biggest challenge? Who wants to go first? What was the biggest challenge once you got into the company?
So yeah, after getting into the company, the role of your confident start right there. When I get into the company, my first month was, I was pretty excited. But what people are doing after getting into the company, they are not processing it. So just process, take a time. Self-appreciation and self-talk are the most important factors of every individual, whatever the culture or from wherever they are. I would say this. So appreciate yourself first, that okay, I cracked it, I get into that company. Now let me process this. From tomorrow I am going to start. Before going to start, just plan or talk to yourself what I'm going to do today. So there will be introduction session or some training sessions for you on the first day, very first day. So yeah, just learn everything, process everything, and start putting your input as soon as possible. And that is what the employers are looking for. If you are putting your input very quickly, you are learning things very quickly, you are understanding everything very quickly, it will be easy for you to get up or get on. But if you are not doing this, if you are lower in confidence, you are thinking, okay, now I am in the professional world, what I am going to do, how I am going to do. So this training session was hard or tough. No, it is not like that. And nothing is tough. It is your attitude. So just try and see. I was as a professional when I went first day in the company. I took training and induction, and very first week I started putting my input that okay, why are we doing this thing like this? We can do this better. We can do this in a better way. We can do this on this way. Something like this. So start putting your input as soon as possible. I started putting input as soon as possible, and that's why I became a leader, because they were waiting. Actually, I can say they were waiting to for me to become a full-time, because I was a student. I can't lead the team. I finished in December, and in after the Christmas party, I was the team lead. They announced straight away. So this is the thing. Start putting input as soon as possible. I started putting. It was not tough. People are thinking it is tough, but it is not that tough once you get into the professional world. Because as I said, that time management is very important. And in the university, I was allowed to get 50% mark to get the subject pass. But as a professional, 99% job you did correct, 1% wrong, you just lost. You are not allowed to make any mistake. You are not allowed to miss anything. You can miss assignment in your university. As a professional, you can't miss a project due date. This is something which everybody needs to understand. And yeah, time management, do it on a proper way. That's what I can say. It's not tough.
Such a good lesson, Ankit, talking about not being able to miss things, right? University, that's why I keep saying university environment is a fun and safe environment. You're learning, you're having
Exactly.
fun. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you pass, sometimes, but once you get into the company, someone's paying you, you're no longer paying them. So
Yeah.
get serious very, very quickly, guys, and you got to be able to think.
And it's same thing, like I always say everyone that assignment you are doing in the university. I've seen people doing assignment. I was one of them in the beginning, but yeah, I have seen people doing assignment at the night before the due date. And that is the thing, they are getting frustrated, they're texting and this and that. This is something which you are practicing for your employability. You are making yourself perfect. If you are planning your, like, if I talk about Lutro, we are getting minimum 2 weeks or 4 weeks to finish the assignment. You should have planned to finish your assignment, that okay, this task I should be finished by this week, this task should be finished by this time. So without getting any frustration or any taxing, you will be able to finish that thing. Like same in project in the professional work, you will be doing the same. If you have done your assignment with perfect planning, you have practiced enough to do your project on time. So this is the thing which you are learning in a university. Like you are improving your technical skills, but by the time you are improving your internal skills and natural skills as well, like time management and like soft skills, I said, these are the things which you need to focus on.
Absolutely. Sanam.
Yeah. So I had got a couple of jobs in my lifetime, I'll say, as Eddie has mentioned. But to be honest, what I would say since the beginning and till now, what I've noticed is that you just have to be really confident. I was always a kind of person, I'm always switched on, trying to build good relationships with my manager, the supervisors, and the team members. And the biggest challenge that I found so far was like in one of my previous workplaces, I had to give a presentation to some of the people who are in the higher management, like the commissioners and stuff. And I was quite reluctant because I haven't done this before. I was feeling like I won't be able to do this. What's going to happen next? Would I be able to do that? So, and then what I did was that I have to be prepared for that. I have to take that courage that nothing is going to happen bad. So it was really good, and then I really got a good feedback that yeah, you were really confident, you know what to speak about. And as Ankit has mentioned, that in the academic career is quite different, and in the professional life is quite different, like especially managing the deadlines. That's very important because they have got millions and billions of dollars invested in that project, and they don't want anything bad happen with that one, since you're the person and your team is responsible for that project. So they just want to make sure that the person they're going to hire is the person who is not only a good fit for the company but also for the project who is going to handle that one. Yep.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Sanam. All right, guys, we've got a couple, well, I'll say we've got maybe 15 more minutes. I don't want to keep Sanam and Ankit here too long, but hopefully we're getting a couple of valuable things out of this. Open to more questions, but I was also going to comment that we have Ridish here, And Ridish is currently on a placement in Will, but he still decided to join, which is always a good thing. So
Yeah.
you can actually comment as the most recent person to go through an interview and provide a couple of comments on the interview experience and maybe a few hints and tips from your experience as well.
Yes, sure, Eddie. First of all, I would really like to know, like, I feel really, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I feel really thankful to like Latro for providing me this internship opportunity. Looking at this COVID situation, like initially I was like a bit tense, like, will I be able to get like an opportunity with as a part of the WIL program or no? It was a very competitive process, but ultimately, like, referring to various resources, getting expert advices, getting expert lessons, like going through LinkedIn, developing connections, getting help from the professors. I managed to get a placement through Will at Coliban Waters. So basically, just one of the tip I would like to give like to the future students as a part of the for getting a placement through Will is like just try to get the best out of everything. Try to utilize all the resources which is available at your university. Try to coordinate with your supervisor, get help from them. For even if for a resume, we have various like services like provided by Latrobe University. So we should take help from them. Also, big interview is a very good thing. Like we can take the best out of it, and yes, like just be confident, and yes, ultimately you'll definitely get a role.
So Reddish, quick question for you. What was the most challenging thing in the interview for you?
Yeah. So the main challenging thing for me was like my initially like my aim was to become like a structural engineer and go ahead in the structural thing, but as I got the opportunity like to for giving an interview in the water industry, like I had no previous knowledge of it. Like I was totally unaware about how the actually industry works and how everything works. So what I did was like I consulted with my water engineering like professors. I got to know what some of the insights, like how it is. I referred various articles, and also in detail I referred to the companies like the business plan, and I thoroughly like I had 1 month for it, and like I like researched everything related to that particular industry. So the main thing was to get the best out of it in the particular like time frame which is provided for me. That was like a 1 month. So yes.
Absolutely. So what I want to draw an analogy now on, so having taught Ridish, Ankit and Sanam as well, the one thing that stands out about all three of them is if I reflect back, they were always super busy and super active. They were always doing something, right? And that meant that they drew the attention of certain academic staff. And that also means that eventually, when they start entering the industry, they draw the attention of employers at some point in time, right? So you have to be busy. You have to do things that people will recognize, whether that's in class. That's just one example. Getting good grades is one example for someone to notice you. You can get noticed in bad ways as well, but we're not going to talk about those right now. But that's one way. The second way is if you're communicative and you're social, right? That means you're engaging. Most students don't bother asking professors questions that are not related to what was taught in that class. Okay, yes, you can ask questions about what's being taught in class. That's good. It shows that you're interested. It shows that you have some, general interest in the topic. But beyond that, it's what we're expecting. We expect you to ask questions about the content, but we're not really expecting you to ask questions that go beyond what's being taught in the classroom. So students that go and do that, it shows that you're curious. It shows that you have an appetite to learn new things, right? It shows that you're hungry for success. That has to transfer itself into the profession as well, right? You have to be curious. You have to be hungry for success. And that's one thing that I could sort of, if I took Ridish, Sanam, and Ankit, because Ridish was you were part of the Working in Australia mentoring program, right?
Yes, exactly.
And in that program, you got a mentor, you got to work with someone, you got some advice, you became really open. One thing I also noticed about Riddhish, he's always smiling. He's always very happy. So it's always a good thing as well, right? And I can say the same thing. By the way, guys, don't underestimate the power of being positive and the power of being happy during an interview, okay? You leave a good impression. So if you come so serious to the interview, people are trying to analyze, because they're analyzing you, right? They're analyzing to see, who are you? Like, are you going to fit in here? And if you're coming too serious, some people might misinterpret that for, you're not going to fit into our company culture, because you've got to interact with everyone else, right? So Ankit and Sanam and Riddhish are very, very positive people, right? You can just feel they're positive people. First of all, Sanam and Ankit wouldn't be here if they weren't positive people to give back, because no one's paying them for this time either. But you need to start taking in some of those values and trying to radiate that outwards. So when I look at you, I know who I'm looking at. I can say, yep, positive people, left a good impression on me. I could see that person working in my company, right? Or getting some feedback. So those are just little things that people skip over, because we often refer to them as, oh yeah, of course I'm positive. You can say you're positive. You'll probably write that in your application, because we looked at that Taylor's example. But how are you going to demonstrate that? It's not an easy one to demonstrate. You demonstrate it a lot better in an interview if you come out and your body language and your smile and your eyes do that. So Sanam, Ankit, some comments about interviews, body language, eye contact, and voice modulation. Can we give some comments on those? Because that's one of those things that annoys everyone during an interview.
Yep, sure. So like in my latest interview, yeah, that was quite an intense one, and I was thinking like, what's going to happen? So what you have to do, your appearance really doesn't matter. For example, in most of the interviews, they really do ask that you are in a formal business attire. Even if it's online, I was having an online interview, I always make sure that I'm in a formal business attire, having the kind of smile, the confidence I'm wearing in myself, and giving good example. I was never, ever, I would say, hesitant or feeling nervous that I won't be able to answer this question. I was like, it's not the end of the world. I will just try my best, and just living, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the best at the end. And so your appearance is very important, the confidence, and the eye contact is very important, even if it's online. If you're looking at the screen, if you're not looking here and there, if you're looking here and there, it's not really good. The employer is going to have an impression that you're not actively listening to the questions. And because in the beginning, they sometimes give you an intro that this is what we are, this is what we do. And if you're not paying your attention, this is not a good sign. So it just gives a kind of attitude that you're not an active person, you're not really interested in what the company or the people do. So you must have the right attitude, and the appearance, the confidence, and the good communication. If your voice shouldn't be too loud or too low. It should be in a way that they're able to hear you clearly. If you're not able to answer, just say, can you forgive me, or just apologize me? Can you repeat the question? And yeah, so you should have the right attitude. This is very important, with a good appearance, yeah, and communication.
Thank you, Sanam. And Ankit, from your perspective?
Yeah, when it comes to interview, I was expecting some question from one of you guys that we are talking about attitude, we are talking about confident. But if I was you, I would have been asked at this moment that, okay, you are talking about confident and attitude. How it comes? We are trying to get it, but we are not getting it. We are talking to someone, even in the normal conversation, we are not getting confident. Yeah, confident appearance matters, but how it comes? It for that you will have to practice from now. How you see yourself, how the way you see yourself, other people will see you the same way. So it is first of all should be within you. To get the more confident, you should be prepared. If you haven't done homework and you are going for interview, you don't know anything, you can't be confident. How can you be confident? So if you are going for interview, prepare yourself first, do your homework, and get that attitude. To get that attitude, you should be prepared. It is within you. If you are prepared, you will be definitely confident, because you know everything, and you know that I am going to rock the floor today. So whether whoever in front of you, whether he's a director or a manager, you will get it correct. I will give you one advice, that if you feel like someone in front of you is higher status than you will never be confident enough to talk to that guy. Always think that I am gonna win. The person sitting in front of me, he is director or manager, whatever, but I am me. He is higher status, he is owner of the company. All right, we respect him. You should definitely respect him, but you are you. So be yourself, prepare yourself, and be confident. Then and then you will get, confident in the interview. Otherwise, you 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 can't just talk. Prepare, and homework is the essential before you go to the interview.
And by the way, one of the most challenging questions at an interview, tell me a little bit about yourself. Right? This is one of the most,
Yes,
it seems like
yes,
the
yes.
first one, but this really shows your confidence. To go back to what Ankit just said, if someone asks you a very specific question, you tend to answer questions like an engineer. There's a mathematical equation, there's an answer. I have the answer or I don't have the answer, right? But
Yeah,
when someone asks you, tell me a little bit about yourself, there's so many different ways to tell that. How are you going to do that? So in that big interview, the questions that we pose to you when you apply for work integrated learning, there's a couple of questions there. We're just looking to see how you approach it. And I can tell immediately what your confidence levels are by how you answer your questions, how you
exactly.
modulate your voice. If you speak like this and everyone understands you and they just don't understand, if it's just straight monotone, that doesn't show confidence at all. It means that you're very robotic in your approach. So you have to know when to pause, when to extend, right? What body language to use, how to sit, how to dress. Please don't underestimate dress code, right? Wearing a shirt, wearing a jacket, whatever, depends on the company, depends on, so you have to research the company as well. If the company is a very, very corporate-like structure, then you have to be very corporate in your dress appearance. If the company is site engineering, it doesn't mean that you go in a shorts and a vest, because that's probably what you might end up wearing on site. You still got to look professional because you haven't got into the company yet, right? Hair, beard, whatever. Sorry, ladies, no, I'm not talking about you having a beard, but you got to stay trimmed, you got to stay clean, you got to look sharp, little things. Now, I haven't had a look at everyone's LinkedIn profile here, but some of you, your LinkedIn profiles need serious work. It doesn't matter what you want. People are going to look you up online. That's the first thing they're going to do. Just going to quickly, I want to see who this person is. They're going to look you up on Facebook. They're going to look you up on LinkedIn. They're going to look you up on Instagram or whatever platform is available just to see what's out there. Who are you? Because I'm looking at that application and it doesn't tell me too much. It tells me something, but I want to confirm it. If I look at your LinkedIn profile and I see that it's well addressed, that you look sharp, that you've put effort in, it extends your CV. It makes you look even stronger as a candidate, right? So put some work into it so I can see, so we can see that you have a lot more to offer than what your CV does in your application. So very, very important to do that. Maybe Sanam wants to add a few words about LinkedIn and how to utilize it, what it's helped you do as well in your career, Sanam.
So in the beginning, my LinkedIn profile was really bad. I would say I wasn't sure like what to have from, where to have to start from. So when I had a chat with a career advisor in the career development workshop at uni, she just gave me a bit of advice that what you have to do and what are the, like, it comes up with the sections like what's your education, your experience, your achievements, your skill set, any certifications. So I just kept on adding that and that. And I was always making sure that I was interacting with the people on the LinkedIn. I still remember my time when I polished my LinkedIn profile. I got one of the internships from a company when I was a student, and it helped me a lot, to be honest. And then, even after that, I keep on updating my LinkedIn profile. I'm a quite active person. I'm more like, oh, what I've done so far, where do I have to update that, and taking recommendations from my referees, making sure that is something that if employers are having a look at, they say, yeah, she's having an all-star profile, because it's very important. If you're having all takes, it doesn't have to be something that you're doing really something powerful. Even if you're adding small things on your profile, it just makes a difference to your future employability. So that's what I did. And nowadays, even if I'm employed, I still like employers are approaching me that this opportunity is available. Are you available? So I feel myself more accomplished and feel myself that I'm a person who has developed with time, and still I'm learning. It's just like I've just completely learned, still learning that what are the bits and pieces I have to keep myself improving on. Yeah, so your LinkedIn profile is something you have to really have a look at, improve the things, make sure that it's being updated with the work experience, education, any certifications, any achievements, what are the skill sets you're really good at, checking recommendations from your referees. This is very important. And one more thing to add that's not a part of this question. Um, in Australia, what I've learned so far in my life, it's been, I think, more than 7 years now. If you're having contacts with your referees, with the people whom you have worked with or studied under the supervision, always build strong relationships with them. It's very important. Your contacts are something with time you will feel like that these are the people who can vouch for your experience, for the work you have done, because the employers are not going to hire you if you're not having any referee. If someone can't vouch for you that he or she is really a good person, or is it, we think that he or she is a good person for your company. So build good relationships with the people you're working with, even your colleagues, your teachers, your managers, the supervisors, and be thankful to them, be around them, learn from them. I always say, like, it's not just Eddie is just like, it's not only a mentor, he's a role model to me. I always have a look at his vision and feel myself more motivated, inspired that he's having a strong vision. I can have a strong vision too. And I build up my strong vision that this is where I want to go. And this is where I see myself. Yeah. So just be strong. Just keep yourself powered on, switched on, work on your bits and pieces, resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, build strong relationship with your teachers, supervisors, and then no one can stop you from getting a job.
Thanks a lot, Sanam. Really good input there as well. Okay, we've got a couple of questions here on the side. So, Sai Pavan, hello, Ankit. Being an international student, I did a little bit of research about you before this session, like James Bond. I'm curious to know how your role has evolved and how your company has evolved while you've been there.
To answer this question, actually, I have answered this question previously. That I said I start participating in the company very quickly, and I started working on the projects very quickly because I started as a production technician, and that is how I got familiar with all the projects over there. And yeah, because I was a quick learner and I was getting involved in everything, they promoted me. And company, I would say I have learned a lot of things. It is not like I haven't made any mistake over there. If I say it was very big project, and I said I did 99% job perfect. I was a project lead on that project, and I just miss a small bit, which cost me almost my job. But I bounced back because of my attitude. My director just called me and told me a lot of stuff. I just accepted it, and yeah. So my involvement in the company, I would say that the most important thing which help you in growing is your attitude. Always your attitude. Just you should be open to voicing your opinion, but on the other hand, you should be open to feedbacks as well. So this is how me and company both evolve with each other.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Ankit. Hopefully, Sai, that explains
Yes, yeah.
things for you. All right, guys, so I'm just weary of that we've just hit the 2-hour mark. What I'm going to try and do is organize more frequently some of these sessions just to have a little bit of discussion. Happy for Ankit and Sanam to join us whenever they like. I'm weary of their time as well. Just want to thank Sanam and Ankit for being here this evening with you guys, for taking 2 hours out of their very, very busy schedules and giving some advice. Obviously, connect with them via LinkedIn, stay in touch. Obviously, make sure that you're active because they want to see how active you are. Put some of the things that you've heard tonight into action, right? You've taken some notes. Obviously, we've discussed a lot of different things. We looked at an example application. We looked at how to apply for it. We looked at what to address, how to address it. There are so many topics, guys. People write literally courses on this stuff here, how to do it. We can't do it all at once, but you got to do some of the things on your own. You got to do some things when you don't have, such a busy schedule. You got to fill the gap. But you got to work on yourself. That's the number one thing. You got to stay busy. You got to ask yourself the question, am I staying busy enough? Did I do enough? Right? And the benchmark shouldn't be my friend in the other room who didn't do much, because if you did a little bit more than they did, but they didn't do anything at all, you didn't really do that much, okay? So you got to compare yourself to the people that are super busy and stop making excuses, because now's the time to do it. You're young, you got a lot of energy, right? Believe me, energy starts to go down as you get older. It does. Doesn't matter what you do. And you also get married, you have kids and everything else. Life gets a lot more complicated later on. So now, while you have this energy, you've got this drive, you got to maximize it and use the advice of people that are trying to help you. Our biggest goal is for you guys to succeed, because you guys become the next Sanam, the next Ankit, then I'm very happy. But if you guys go in the opposite direction, that's also my failure, because I didn't help you enough. But you got to help yourself as well. I can't keep helping if you're not helping yourself. Yeah, the first step has to be taken by you. So again, thanks very much, Sanam. Thanks, Ankit, for being here. Thanks everyone else for joining us. And I got to say, the people that joined tonight, you have a special place in help from Eddie for joining the session. So if you need additional help, happy to help you. For people that registered but didn't turn up tonight, bad luck. You got to be in it to win it. And if you're not in it, well, bad luck for you. So I appreciate you taking 2 hours of your time as well. And any last words from Sanam and Ankit before we finish up as well?
Thank you very much, Eddie. Actually, I regretted that I didn't do subject under Eddie, because one of my friends told me that we did the subject under Eddie and he's this kind of human being. He was getting some of the directors and some of the employers in the lectures and this and that. So I was regretting, and I sent an email to Eddie, and it took a long time to get him back to me. And so he is obviously mentor for me as well, like Sanam said. Thank you very much, Eddie, again for this opportunity. I would like to give one message to all of the students, that always remember you are the product of 5 people you keep yourself around. So don't get yourself around with negative people. If you think like these people are talking negative, these people are, hurdle in my success, just don't say anything. Get rid of those people. There should be no negativity in the life. Be a resilient and be a fighter. And anytime you want my help, don't think about time. Whenever I'll be getting time, I'll be free. I'll answer you. That is for sure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ankit. Sanam?
Yep. I would like to say huge thanks to Eddie. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the students as well for attending today's session. And I would advise and students that please don't let go Eddie's mind. He has his time and efforts for all of you. Just make that productive and happen. Because at the end of the day, it's for your own good. We are attending the session. Eddie's doing the session. It's just for your own good, so that because your success is his success. And yeah, one advice from me for all of the students is that always believe in yourself. Trust me. At least you guys, like Ankit, I would say you guys started from a tough, but I'm the person engineering. I'm having this vision. No matter what I have to go through, I will make that happen. I have to go through a series of like personal sacrifices. And even like people used to say that you can't make this happen. Don't think big. You can't do it. And I was like, if these people can do it, I can make it. I'm not afraid of anything. So after like 2 to 3 years, like many years of struggle, and in the department I'm going to start in, I still remember like 2 to 3 years I was applying for the job, I wasn't getting it. I kept on improving myself, that these are the mistakes I have to improve on. And then I feel myself more honorable, and I would say more happier person that finally I made it. Whatever people say, I never listened to them, but I've done that. Yeah, and because I'm the first female person from my own country as well to work in the engineering space in the department. So that's kind of privilege for me, that I finally made that. And the people behind my success, I've said, Eddie and all of the mentors and the people whom I worked with, they're just behind my success. And I'm thankful to all of them.
Thanks so much, Sanam and Ankit again. Guys, pleasure seeing you online. Thanks for turning on your camera. It makes me feel a little bit more social. I haven't done much socializing, so it feels good to see people in real life. Yeah, look, good luck, guys, with whatever you're doing. If you have any other questions, if you're looking for some advice and so on, please reach out. Like I said, email is a very bad way to reach me. I'm sorry, I get a lot of emails. You can imagine how many students write to me, not just in Australia, by the way. I mentor students in like 35 different countries. So by the time I get through everything, so it's got to be short and concise. And if you make a little bit of effort that I can see that you've done some work, I'm more inclined to help you and prioritize you in that spell. But you've got a lot of work to do, okay? Some of your applications in Will weren't all that great, by the way. I'm just going to be honest. It's not the end of the road for you, but you've got to work more. Now, you've got to improve whatever you can. You've already submitted your CV, you've already submitted your application, but that's not the end of the world. You've got to improve based on tonight. Improve your CV, improve your actual LinkedIn page. Have a look at the opportunities. Don't just wait for them, hunt them down. Make it happen, right? There's a lot of opportunities out there, but you got to make it happen. And one thing that's positive out of this coronavirus, once we're heading in a good direction, unlike some other countries in the world, right? So the economy will start to open up properly in the coming months, which means that there's going to be jobs. And that means you have an opportunity to seize on some of these job opportunities. Now's the time to prepare yourself for those. Don't just wait for last minute. Every day you should do something small and ask yourself, what did I do today to increase my chances of getting that job that I want? Every day, right? It's like exercise. If you just exercise once a month, right? It doesn't matter that you exercise and say, I did it. You got to do it consistently and you got to do it well and build and build and build and build. So do it now, start preparing for it, and the opportunities will come. And everything else that you've heard tonight, make sure you jot it and create yourself an action plan. If you didn't take notes, I'm going to send this video around to everyone, okay? But still, the notes that you take is your understanding of what was said tonight. That's why it's important to take them. All right, I want to go and enjoy my dinner now, guys, and hopefully you will too. And speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.